As you can see, brothers and sisters, it's really about spirit. It's about bringing the spirit of all of our ancestors. So that is why it is important for us to keep remind ourselves the greatness of our ancestors, to teach our history and understanding the fight of all of our great freedom fighters, great kings and queens who gave blood, sweat, and tears for us to live.
Hey, the brother is talking to people that are
I want one more time to promote. Let the family know, brothers. Let the family know because this show is exclusive.
That are in UK, Inbox, and etc. You see the title, man. I ain't gotta say no more, man. Just listen to the brother. That's all I ask for, people to listen instead of judge. See, y'all always quick to judge a book by its cover, but y'all don't even open the book to read what the story is.
But I need you, brothers and sisters, one more time, share this message to the people worldwide. So listen to this quick video, just so we can then bring the conversation alive. Pay attention. Because if they won't listen to us, maybe they'll listen to the law. Millions. So that's why we came to re-emphasize. It will make your life very uncomfortable. But you will not be able to ignore the fact that when you're going to fuss, it's not the same thing you want to be taught you did. You lock us up in the heart. We're just going to make it worse and worse and worse. So they do. Right now, it's not the same reach and very smart and very protective, but there are solutions that America can like do better in America. Until America admits it's wrong against us, until America atones for the sins of slavery, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, until America against the Brother, as you can see, this video of the general, Grandmaster Jay, in Louisville, Kentucky. So, brothers and sisters, we're now going to bring our special guests. First of all, help us to understand the state, the police department in the United States. How's everything going? Because obviously we've seen the NFAC in boot to the ground in Louisville, Kentucky, pressurize the system from inside. So how's the situation over there regarding Breonna Taylor? Because it's been a long time. With your support, with your tenacity, things that start changing. They start coming out. They was trying to hide it. They was trying to hide what's going on. So tell us the situation over there with Breonna Taylor and also the police department in the United States, just so you can update the family.
Well, first of all, let me thank you for having me to come back before all of the good people on that side of the globe. It is a pleasure to be back on Diamond Radio and TV here in the UK. Before I start talking and answer that question, you know, we broke the internet, and when we came on, immediately Instagram has crashed. They crashed as soon as we started. So I guess there's that many people that want to tune in. But before I begin, let me acknowledge all of the people in the UK, in England, in Northern Ireland, in Scotland, Wales, and of course, all over the United Kingdom. Let me also acknowledge all of my brothers and sisters, all down through Antigua and Barbuda and Bahamas and Barbados, Dominican Republic, Grenada, Haiti, and all those places, all down by that particular part of the world. But then most importantly, not to discriminate anyone else, let me salute all my brothers and sisters and the people who called and thought that I was actually there about to run over your station. No, I am not. I'm still in the United States. I still want to send out a big shout out and a salute to everyone in Nigeria, Ethiopia, Egypt, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Tanzania, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Algeria, Sudan, Morocco, Mozambique, Ghana, Angola, Somalia, the Ivory Coast, everyone down in Madagascar, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, Niger, Malawi, Zambia, Mali, Senegal, Zimbabwe, Chad, Tunisia, Guinea, Rwanda, Benin, Burundi, South Sudan, Eritrea, Sierra Leone, everybody who's listening in from Togo, Libya, the Central African Republic, the rest of y'all hold tight. You should know all of these countries. Mauritania, the Republic of the Congo, Liberia, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, Gambia, Gabon, Mauritius, Equatorial Guinea, Eswatini, Djibouti, Reunion, Comoros, Western Sahara, Cape Verde, Mayotte, Sao Tome Principe, Seychelles, and St. Helena, Ascension, and Tristan in the UK. I am saluting all of you all because you are one family. Now let me turn and give a shout out to all of my brothers and sisters in the United States of America, in Canada, and all down through South America. And then, of course, the rest of the world that has tuned in. They asked me to come before you. I am here. I am the Grandmaster Jay. I am the founder and supreme commander of the NFAC, not just the organization, but this movement. The question that you asked about the NFAC going into Louisville, Kentucky on behalf of Breonna Taylor, because of the injustice that was done against this Black woman and the apparent lack of any type of action by law enforcement, the judicial system, or the powers to be. Even after months of days and days of protesting and the people demanding justice, of course, we went to get transparency. We got that transparency. Now the details of the case have come forward. We've gotten transparency because that transparency has now led to traction with the process of getting all of the investigations wrapped up and getting this case in front of a grand jury, as they do here in the United States, so a decision can be made whether or not they're going to actually charge 1, 2, 3 of those police officers that were involved in the killing of Miss Taylor. That grand jury is actually meeting this week as we speak, or has met. We're simply awaiting the results. In the meantime, the family had already initiated a wrongful death lawsuit against the city, which they went ahead and settled out of court for $12 million, plus a few judicial police reform changes and a few other things that were asked for by the community, which was kind of odd to us because normally you do the settlement after you do the criminal phase. But in this particular instance, they went ahead and settled in the civil suit, and you've heard about that. Now we're all waiting to see what's going to come out of the grand jury room. Some people feel like they sold out, that they shouldn't have taken the money. Two totally different instances. Yes, there are those who feel like they should have waited until after the criminal proceedings were wrapped up, so then they could put a number on trying to pursue this civil suit. But let us be honest, from what we've seen, the way they've dragged their feet about this case, and the fact that if it wasn't for all the other groups that protested that were there, plus the pressure put on by the NFAC, that we wouldn't be where we are today. So it looks like we're coming down the home stretch with the Breonna Taylor case. Yes, there has been pressure applied from the outside. There's been pressure applied from the inside. There are conversations that needed to be had to move this along so we can get closure in the death of Breonna Taylor.
Wow. Moving to the police department. Do you see any sign of changing? Because the way they look at it, they just don't give a damn. We call this a human rights abuse. Seems like now they totally abusing their power. What is your thoughts about the state of the police department in the United States? It looks like
before I answer that, let's be clear.
Donald Trump mindset. I don't care.
Let's be clear.
We've seen
perception is reality. Perception is reality, and because perception is reality.
What is your take now?
I understand.
Do you reckon it is about to put a stop, or about for us to say enough is enough and let's really deal with them the way they've been dealing with us? What is your thought about the state of the police department in the United States?
Well, when you say the state of the police department in the United States, I need my brothers and sisters around the world to understand that the policing institution in the United States of America grew out of another institution, which used to be called the Slave Patrol. These were the people who had to catch slaves when they got away, bring them back, whether dead or alive. They had to be 16 years old, all the way up until 50 years old. White males could then track down people who were slaves and bring them back in one way, shape, form, or fashion. That in turn has metamorphosized into the police department that you speak of in the United States. Unfortunately, it has become painfully apparent to us that the culture that came out of slave catching still permeates through this culture of what we call the police department. So I've been overseas, I've lived overseas, I've dealt with the Polizei in Germany, I've dealt with the French police. It's a totally different type of policing. So I would say that the condition of policing within the United States is one that is archaic, it is draconian, it needs to go away, it needs to be rebuilt with the input of the people. More specifically, in the Breonna Taylor case, two concessions that the police department did make. Number one, they fired the police chief who already was replacing the last police chief that quit when this all came about, and they put a black woman in as the interim. The other thing that most people will find interesting is that going forward, no warrants can be executed unless they're signed and seen by a commander. That wasn't happening before, but here's the part that you'll find most interesting, my people, is that whenever there is going forward, that whenever there is a police involved shooting, those police officers now must submit to a drug and alcohol test, which wasn't being done before, which raises the question, are you meaning to tell me that it's a possibility that most of these people that have been killed at the hands of police officers, that the officers could have been high or inebriated at the time? Well, guess what? That is all
right, folks. I guess this will be enough for y'all. If you want to goddamn it, go check his page out. You know, the official Grandmaster Jay. You want to
bring the hammer down on all
get up with the plans on what this brother may have for the black nation, you know, or whatnot. You know, you do your research. You know,
Americans, people
I'm finna go on in this clip.
Disproportionately against everyone else.
You know,
saying that they don't police.
It is what it is.
We're not
so
saying
I'm
that they don't lock up the white.
I holler at y'all good folks.
But they get more leeway and their situations are de-escalated while ours start off at an area of total escalation. That has not been addressed. We are at a breaking point. We have reached we tired of talking. We have in fact reached an NFAC frame of mind. You fill in what the F means. In the meantime, the pressures that need to be exerted on the police departments, on the judicial departments, and on all of the municipal governments in these places, that pressure is being applied by the people. The NFAC has now become a definitive threat to something that they've become used to, and that is they're used to singing, they're used to marching, they're used to y'all waving signs, they're even used to a little bit of property destruction. What they're not used to is a recurrence of the history of this country when civilians formed the militias to emphasize a certain point. Just because the NFAC hasn't fired a shot doesn't mean that we won't. We just won't shoot unless you shoot at us first. Just because we haven't damaged any property doesn't mean we won't. We just haven't had a reason to. You see a show of force to emphasize